WWE has a future main event star, the Oba Femi, on their hands, but they have to be careful on how they do his debut. Too many times, Triple H calls up an NXT talent and they get lost in the wayside, there's no direction, and they don't connect with the audience. This happens too many times, and Oba Femi is way too talented for this to happen to him. So today, I'm booking his debut all the way up to Wrestlemania 43. This should be a blueprint for WWE on how they should debut the star and how to keep his momentum going. Starting off, we're acknowledging that Oba Femi lost his NXT championship to Ricky Saints on September 27th at No Mercy, and since he's lost his championship, this is why he's debuting on the main roster. I don't want to see Oba Femi on NXT. I don't want the main roster to acknowledge he lost his title, and I want to keep him out of minds, out of sight, until he makes his debut a little later on in the video. But before I can book Oba Femi's debut, I have to make sure the situation is perfect for him, so I need to take a couple SmackDowns to get the situation right. On the October 3rd edition of SmackDown, Sami Zayn is going to do another United States Championship Open challenge that'll be answered by Santos Escobar, and Sami is going to win pretty decidedly with a Blue Thunder Bomb, but afterwards, Shinsuke Nakamura is going to come out and kind of a stare down, saying that the next week that he wants the title match. We've seen that Shinsuke Nakamura has been kind of lurking in the backgrounds of vignettes, lurking in the backgrounds of different promos backstage, and he's going to come out and challenge the man who gave him his first match in NXT for that US Championship. This leads us to the October 10th SmackDown, which is the SmackDown before Crown Jewel, and I'm going to give Sami Zayn the win over Shinsuke Nakamura, and I'm going to give him a lot of time. I'll give him 30 minutes. I'll give him from 9:25 till 10 o'clock. I'll give him 35 minutes to their entrances, the whole match. I think they can still put on an incredible match, and I want to see that level of competition for this US Championship. But Sami Zayn is going to win clean. No underhanded tactics, no cheating from anyone involved, just a good match. They shake hands afterwards, and Sami goes on his way. But with Sami defending the night before, he will not be defending his title at Crown Jewel. So on October 17th, Sami Zayn is going to come out the very first part of SmackDown. The opening segment, Sami's going to come out and say, listen, I won it last week, I won the week before, I've been doing this open challenge for weeks, I'm going to do it one more time tonight. So he gives an open challenge to anyone in the locker room, and out comes Oba Femi. We've already established that NXT talent can answer the call for the United States Open Challenge because we saw it with Javon Evans. So starting off the show with Oba Femi entering the ring, that is going to have a lot of eyes on the program. This is the first SmackDown after Crown Jewel, and the first thing they're going to see is Oba Femi answering the US Challenge, and he is going to absolutely dominate Sami Zayn. I don't want Sami Zayn to get any offense in. A glorified squash match, Oba Femi wins the United States Championship. This works for a couple of reasons, because number one, the main roster audience wouldn't be familiar too much with Oba Femi unless they watch NXT, but that's not all of the audience. So to introduce him and have him not only beat, but dominate Sami Zayn, who's had these very successful US challenges over the past couple months, having him win the title for him in an absolute squash match would propel Oba Femi to a main event level status. We've seen Sami Zayn stand tall against Santos Escobar, Shinsuke Nakamura, Rey Fenix, Carmelo Hayes, so to go in and just get crushed by Oba Femi will put him over big time. The second reason it's going to work, as with Sami Zayn doing the US Open challenges, it's got a little more light on the championship, and now Oba's going to win that title the very first night, and he's going to be a very dominant champion. Fast forward to Survivor Series, I'm a little tired of the War Games event happening every single year. It feels very forced now. It was cool when it first started happening, but it's just forced. So I want to go back to the event where Survivor Series is champion versus champion. So I'm going to have Oba Femi against Intercontinental Champion Dominic Mysterio, and Oba is going to win the match even with Judgment Day interfering. Oba should not be losing, and Dominic Mysterio has been built up as a really good Intercontinental Champion, and you have the interference of the Judgment Day, but it is simply not enough. Oba's power and athleticism is too much for Mysterio to overcome, and Oba gets the victory 1-2-3. To continue putting more eyes on Oba Femi, I'm going to have him wrestle at the Saturday Night Main Event that is John Cena's retirement match. He's not wrestling John Cena, but he is going to be taking on Carmelo Hayes, who in this case is a face after turning on The Miz, which he kind of saw in SmackDown, and in this fantasy world he goes on to have a match with The Miz, beating him, and goes on to be a face. This match would be the most competitive of the matches, considering he's had Dominic Mysterio and he's had Sami Zayn, but I want Carmelo to have a little bit more competition, a little bit more of his offense in, because I want to get Carmelo over as a face as well, because Triple H has really ruined his call-up, so I want to get Carmelo, get his offense in, get his moves in, so the fans still care about Carmelo Hayes, because he can have big plans later on, but at the end, Oba Femi is going to retain his championship. Now this leads to the Royal Rumble, where I have huge plans for Oba. He is going to enter the Royal Rumble match, and he is going to break Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman's record of 13 eliminations in one match, and Oba is going to throw out 14 men before eventually being eliminated by the winner, CM Punk. This works for numerous reasons. Number one, I hate that Braun Strowman technically has the record because of the greatest Royal Rumble where there is 50 men. It's just stupid. I don't think that should be a thing. So it gets him out of the record books. And with Brock Lesnar's history, it gets him out of the record books as well. And also, since the WWE is so keen on building up Brock Lesnar and making him a monster, if you have Oba Femi go in and break that record in the very first try, you are just telling the audience, watch out for this guy. He has just beaten Brock Lesnar's record. He has done something no man has done keep an eye out on him. And what I also love is you're putting all this momentum on him as he's the United States champion. He's not just a heel, he's not just a babyface. You are putting all of this rub on that championship too, so that whenever someone eventually beats him, they get that huge payoff too. I love when WWE puts more emphasis on their mid-card titles. It worked wonders with Gunther and the Intercontinental Championship, and I want to do the same thing for the United States Championship. At the Elimination Chamber, Oba's going to go one-on-one with one of the men he eliminated in that Royal Rumble match. He's going to take on Penta, and I do have Oba still retaining his championship, but the wins are taking a little bit longer. The opponent's getting a little more offense in. This is due to him facing quote-unquote mid-card talent and now going in more to the main event level talent of Penta. I also want to point out, none of these matches are ending with any sort of interference besides the Judgment Day one, which backfired on Dominic Mysterio. They're not ending with any sort of cheap heel tactics. Oba is winning these matches clean. I want to get over Oba as a dominant monster, I want to get over the United States Championship, and I want to get over Oba's finishing move. Doing so leads me to WrestleMania 42, and I was thinking about what sort of match I want Oba to have with the most eyes on him, and I think we can go one of two ways. So far, I've been booking Oba as the overall bigger guy, taking on more of the high-flying men. Sami Zayn, Carmelo Hayes, Penta, and Dominic Mysterio are all sort of ones that go to the top rope and kind of fly around, but that's going to change for WrestleMania. I want someone who's closer to Oba's strength, someone who's going to put on a banger of a matchup, just a hard-hitting match, and that man is none other than Sheamus. Sheamus has been one of the unsung heroes of the WWE for the past 10 years, and he has been doing incredible work. He had matches with Rusev, he's had matches with Gunther, he's had matches with Drew McIntyre, just incredible hard-hitting matches, and he's going to have another great one with Oba that does have Oba retain his United States Championship. Now, that was his debut up until WrestleMania 42, so I want to fast forward a little bit down the line. I have Oba Femi losing his title down the line to Carmelo Hayes, and my brain instantly goes to, it's have it at SummerSlam. I'm tired of only having big championships change hands at big pay-per-views. I want to have him lose at like a Clash in Paris, at like a Night of Champions. I don't really care where it happens at, but I want to have Carmelo Hayes as a face come back and get his redemption on Oba Femi. Then in the 2027 Royal Rumble, I'm having Oba Femi win the entire thing. He finished second the year prior, he broke the record the year prior, and he is going to win the whole thing this year. Ignoring all of the out-of-the-ring concerns with Brock Lesnar, that is kind of how I want to book him in the ring. I want to book him as this dominant monster who came in really young, won the world title really young, won the Royal Rumble really young, and just did amazing things. That's what I'm kind of basing it off of. So Oba's going to win the Royal Rumble, and I checked his age, and he is not the youngest, because the youngest person to win the Royal Rumble is Brock Lesnar. But he goes on to WrestleMania 43 in Saudi Arabia, and he has a choice between two champions, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. And while both seem like amazing options, I am going to have The Rock take on Cody Rhodes, which means that Oba Femi is going to choose Roman Reigns, the main event, night 2, WrestleMania 43, and Oba is going to defeat Roman Reigns, winning the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't doubt that Roman can still do this for years and years. This is a nice passing of the torch moment, almost like when he had that moment with Keith Lee, but to a much wider scale. So Oba's going to beat him 1, 2, 3, going to beat him clean, no bloodline interference. Roman is going to shake his hand and walk off, and then Oba is going to celebrate as all the confetti comes down, and Oba is your World Heavyweight Champion. So in about 18 months, Oba debuts on SmackDown, winning the United States Championship from Sami Zayn's US Open Challenge. He defeats Carmelo Hayes, he defeats Penta, he defeats Dominic Mysterio, he breaks the Royal Rumble record and finishes second. He defeats Sheamus at WrestleMania, eventually loses his title to Carmelo Hayes down the line, and then goes on to win the 2027 Royal Rumble and successfully defeats Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania 43. I love when we bring in new talent and instantly push them as main event players, and this not only puts a belt on someone who's relatively new, but someone who's really young too. At the time of WrestleMania 43, Oba will be about 29 or 30, so having a world title on someone so young and have them defeat Roman Reigns in this huge spotlight is going to show that Oba is your future. He is the guy to carry this company on his back for the next decade, and I love that. If I had to book his next one, WrestleMania 44, I would have a match with Braun Breaker. Oba's debut signals more of a shifting of the guards. We can stop relying on the ones that are 40 plus years old and get down to the talent that really are going to be the future, the ones that are going to be here a long time, and Oba is the perfect one to usher in that new era. But let me know in the comments section, what do you think about me booking Oba Femi, and how would you book it differently? Make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more wrestling videos like this one.